There was a time in my life that I really wanted to be happy. I heard myself saying over and over again, I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy. Whatever that means, I just want to be happy. But then I realized that I think that sometimes happiness can be a choice. Joy can be a choice, right? Not saying that everything in our life is happy or happy go lucky or positive. Everything doesn't feel good, but we can choose to have joy. We can choose to have happiness, to experience happiness. I had this feeling that, when I get this thing, when I get this job, when I get this money, when I get this relationship, when I become whoever I think I have to be in order to deserve happiness, then I can have happiness. But we're missing happiness all around us. Happiness is not out there. It's not, 10 years from now. It's not a different version of ourselves. Happiness is all around us. Joy is all around us. And it's up to us to really recognize it and to take advantage of it, to take hold of it, to grasp it, like to cherish it. But a lot of us are so focused on goal setting or on, becoming a different version of ourselves, on, moving up in status or, monetarily or, in titles, right? We're so worried about becoming something different and something more, like improving, that we're missing out on the opportunity for joy, happiness, contentment, success now, right? We think that, again, that it's out there somewhere, but really it's here. And so I wrote a journal entry and I said, I think joy can be a choice. A lot of us are waiting for joy to come as if it's far away, as if it's a far off thing, as if we have no autonomy, as if we need permission, as if we can't access it until. But it's here, now. While we can't control what happens to us and around us, in every instance, we can choose what we grasp, hold on to. But that's the beauty. Joy is not the absence of pain, frustration, and sorrow. We can access it at any time. We can access it at any stage. All joy requires is a yes. All it requires is you. The question is, are you available to joy? And that's one thing I really had to consider. Am I available to joy? Am I so distracted with what I don't have, who I'm not, who I don't have connections to, what I don't have access to, that I choose to push away joy and push off happiness, I think, again, that a lot of us are chasing these accolades or chasing these titles, chasing this money, because we think that if we acquire these things, then we'll be happy, then it'll be enough. But contentment doesn't work like that. Contentment works in every stage of life, no matter what you have, no matter who you know, no matter who you are, right? But if we're so focused on attaining more, becoming more, then there will always be more to attain, to have. Just think about this culture we live in. There is never enough. There is no sense of enough. There's no sense of, wow, you did the thing. Good job. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, what's next? You graduate from college. The first thing someone asks you, well, where do you want to work? You get married. The first thing somebody asks you, when are you going to have kids? You have kids. When are you going to have another one? People are always focused on the next thing. And I really think that's detrimental to our joy and our happiness. There's no way that we can be content. Hi, butterfly. There's no way that we can be content if we're always focused on more, if we're always focused on what we don't have, because that means we're focusing on lack. We're not focusing on abundance, and abundance is everywhere. Abundance is taking advantage of and recognizing the beauty that's all around us today, right? So again, a lot of people use this phrase, when I, then I'll, right? When I get this thing, when I become this person, then I'll. But I was listening to an author, her name is Valerie Burton, and one thing that she said was, and it really stuck out to me, I wrote it down, she said, instead of saying when I, then, right, or I'll be happy when, say I'll be happy while. So even while you're still attaining the things, you're still becoming who you want to be, even while you're still pursuing the things that bring you joy, make sure that while you're pursuing those things, you're still choosing happiness. How can we do this? Like in a realistic way? I feel like a realistic way to pursue happiness and to choose joy in every instance is to be present, to be in the moment. Actually pay attention to how things make you feel. Pay attention to the small joys, right, that we kind of push aside, that we kind of take for granted. For example, I'm having a lot of fun sitting outside. That's why I'm recording my videos outside. It feels good. I feel like I can get some fresh air. I can hear nature. I'm interacting with nature. The butterfly just flew by me. Like, that makes me happy. I also like creating. I also like making. I also like singing. I also like connecting with my friends. These are things that we take for granted and that we really don't appreciate until either it's taken away or we can't do those things anymore, right? So while we're still in these stuffy boxes trying to pursue these things and becoming more, make sure that you're choosing to live with joy today, with joy now, not in the far distant future. Live with joy today. There's enough joy and happiness all around you to take advantage of, but it's up to you to choose it. right? And so because I feel like joy can be a choice, this is another thing that I wrote. I said it was a mantra. And I said, I choose to see the goodness all around me. I will not push it away or question my worthiness of it. I have always been worthy. Goodness has always loved me. I welcome goodness with open arms and an expectant heart. I am grateful for goodness. I am a good thing. Goodness radiates from within me and shines on others. I am made up of goodness. God created me and whispered tearfully, Alicia is a good thing. So you can insert your own name here, obviously. But I think it's really up to us to see the goodness around us. I am open and available to see the goodness around us. And again, while every situation is not feel good, happy, go lucky, I do think it's important that we see the possibility of goodness around us. For example, I don't necessarily like spending money. I'm not a fan. I know it has to happen. I don't like paying bills. It's like, we can change our mindset from goodness gracious, another bill, I got to pay this bill. But the goodness we can look at is, wow, thank you, God, that I have the money to pay this bill. So while bills can be frustrating and it's annoying and it can seem predatory, there is still a joy that we can choose because we have the money to do it. Because I remember when I didn't have the money. I remember when I was struggling and penny pinching and putting things together. And in some ways, I'm still doing that in some instances, but I'm still grateful when I can pay it. Thank you, God, that I can pay it. Thank you, God, that I don't have to be behind on rent this month. Thank you, God, I don't have to be behind on my car payments. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, God, I can choose to eat the food I want to eat, right? This is the goodness. This is the choice. It's not necessarily saying to be positive in a destructive or toxic way, because we all know what that feels like, right? The people who say, oh, everything works out for a reason, right? It's like, what? Or everything happens for a reason. People who say obnoxiously happy things when you're going through a rough time. I'm not talking about that. I feel like that can be harmful. What I am saying is that in every instance, there is an opportunity to look at things with joy, gratitude, and happiness. And happiness can be a choice. So how can you do that, right? How can you do that in your own life? I think you could start with making a list. What makes you happy? Really look at your life. What in your life makes you happy now? What are you grateful for today, right? Again, this gratitude exercise, I love doing that because it really puts things into perspective. Thank you, God, that I have the money to pay my bills. Thank you for my fingernails that I can scratch, right? Thank you for my eyebrows, my eyelashes. Thank you for my hair. Thank you for breath because it feels good. Thank you for taste bud because taste buds allow me to taste the beautiful foods that are out there, all the different flavors, the bitterness, the sweetness, right? The sour, the umami, like all these different things. Thank you, God, for that. You know what I mean? Like the option is there for happiness and joy. And I feel like that's the trick. It's not about things. It's not about when I move out the country, then I'll be happy. It's not about any of that because no matter where you go, what you have, there you are. No matter what you have, there you are. So yes, you can put yourself in happy places, but if you don't do the work of being content now, of being happy now, it's going to be even harder for you to appreciate the things that you have access to later. And I want those big things for you. I want you to have those grand things. I want your dreams to come true. Happiness, joy is a choice. And the question is, are you open to happiness? That's the question. So I hope this was helpful. If it was, let me know. How are you going to choose joy today? What are you grateful for? How can you be more present? What are you taking advantage of, right? What are the things that are in our lives that bring us joy, like the laughter of friends, the hug of a mother? You know what I mean? Like the music we listen to, the food we eat. How can we experience happiness and joy and pleasure in our everyday lives? I'd love to hear from you. Please share it below, and I'll talk to you all in the next video. Bye.